Hello and welcome to Racket Club. This is my favorite VR app. I play this app probably 4 or 5 times a week, and I have been for almost 2 years now. The game came out in late December 2023. I've been playing for almost that entire time. This is a VR app that is designed as a series of racket-based games built for VR. There are 3 different racket sports that are included in this game, including the very first game, which is called box tennis. And then after box tennis, after the app was out for a while, they added Spinminton, and then most recently they've added Pickleball. This video is going to serve as my comprehensive overview and deep dive into everything that this app has to offer. I've seen a lot of videos about this app on YouTube, but they mostly fall into one of 2 categories. Either they are well-established VR YouTubers playing this game for the first time, and they kind of jump in and they don't really know what they're doing. They don't take the time to learn about the game first. So it ends up them playing a game against the AI bots and not knowing why they scored a point or why they lost a point or how the scoring works or what any of the rules are. Or on the other end of the spectrum, we have people who are very familiar with this game, who play the app or play the game for their VR channel, and they don't really explain anything because they just kind of assume that everyone knows how the game works. So I want to kind of bridge the gap between those two and make one video that covers everything about this app, from the rules of the game, different options, all the different sports available, how to play both single player and multiplayer, how to do drills, how to buy things in the shop, everything I can think of about this game, because I really want more people to play this because this is such a wonderful game. So to start out, when you first open up the app, you'll be placed here in your home area. And if you look around, we have a training court behind you. That gentleman right there is our trainer, and he is how we will access the career mode to access different tournaments. So let me just give you a brief overview of everything this game has to offer. So right here, we have our training court. This is a court where you'll be able to play against an AI bot, or possibly against, do some different drills so you can practice specific shots, or simply hit the ball back and forth against a ball cannon. Over here, as I mentioned before, this is our trainer. Our trainer has 4 different tournaments available for us. Each tournament will earn you a certain number of experience points, and you can use those experience points to go ahead and upgrade your racket to more impressive rackets that have more skills. As we make our way in towards the clubs, right here we have our updates that are listed as a sort of patch notes, so developers can tell us what's new and what version of the game you're on. As you come into here, this is our shop area. In this shop, you can buy clothing for your avatar. When you first start off the game, you'll have a limited number of outfits available, and you can change your clothes, style your avatar's appearance, more or less however you want. But as you're playing and as you complete challenges, you'll be able to you'll earn coins that you can use to purchase different outfits. So if I were to take a look at my avatar right now, this is me. Hello, everyone. I've chosen the purple top and purple shorts. I've not yet seen purple shoes available for purchase. Kind of just waiting for those to appear. I check in here every so often to see if there's new purple shoes available to complete the outfit. Right here we have the list of challenges. These challenges will reset daily and weekly. So you can see there's some that only have 5 hours left because they're going to reset later tonight. Actually, all of them have 5 hours left because I'm recording this on a Sunday, so the weekly challenges are also going to reset later tonight. The clubs are what I would call the heart and soul of this app. These are how you're going to play real people from across the world, and I think it's what makes this app one of the best ones out there as far as a multiplayer experience. But we're going to save that for later. For now, let's head back this way into our home area, and let's start talking about the different games available. So as you just saw, in order to enter the court, I simply pointed my right hand at the door, and I clicked on the door with my trigger finger, and that will take you into the court. This gentleman in front of me is one of several AI players. His name is Boris, but you could be randomly assigned to any other player. And as he's sitting there waiting to play, I can start playing with him right now if I want to. All you gotta do is pick up the ball with your left trigger finger, and you can start hitting the ball to him, and he will attempt to return it. And if you want to just keep volleying back and forth like that, you can do so. He will never serve the ball at you until you have to start a game. But if you want to just start playing, just start hitting the ball and see what he does. And this is a good way just to start warming up a little bit until one of us misses, and then he'll wait again. Let's see if I can get him to miss. No, he's going to be good today for some reason. There we go. He missed. Now he's just waiting for me to pick up the ball again. So like I said, this is the first sport that was available in Racket Club. This is called box tennis. It is very similar to a combination of sports such as tennis, racquetball or squash, paddle, lots of different things, but all built specifically for a VR environment. So as you can see, between that white line and my back wall and my two side walls, I am actually walking around my actual house. This is your play area. Because this game does not use any virtual locomotion, you don't move with your thumbsticks or anything like that, it does require a bit more space than some VR apps require. I think the specifications, if you look at the app's description in the store, say something like you need 6.5 feet on each side. That's a fair estimate, but I really think if you have more space, the better. I can walk into this area here. This area between that white line and the net is called the gap. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But the real point is to make sure that you do have enough space so that you can walk to both sides of your court without triggering your boundary. Make sure you can walk up to the front, etc. The rules of this game are fairly simple. It's mostly like tennis rules. I'm going to serve to this guy underhanded. He's going to return it back to me, or at least attempt to in that case. When you serve, you have to make sure that your ball is going to cross his white line. In other words, it's going to pass his gap at least once. If the ball were to bounce twice inside that gap, I can't even do it because I'm so used to serving correctly. If that ball were to bounce twice in that gap, he would score the point. So you have to make sure you clear his gap. The next rule is that you cannot hit the back wall on the fly like I just did. Like that, he didn't bother going for that because he knew it was going to hit the back wall. If it hits the back wall on the fly, that's his point. The third thing you cannot do is serve overhand like that. Again, he didn't bother going for it because he knew that was a foul. If you serve overhand, you're going to be charged with a high serve. Your opponent will get the point. So, to start an actual game with our AI opponent, Boris, I'm going to use my left controller. I'm going to grab my thumb upwards, and I'm going to grab my grip with my middle finger to form a thumbs up. And that will tell the game I'm ready to play a game. It'll tell you whose serve it is. You're going to grab the ball with your left trigger finger, or I suppose your right trigger finger if you are left-handed and your racket's in the other hand, and you serve. And we're just going to play until one of us misses the ball, or hits it out, or commits a foul. Oh, he almost returned it. Nope, it's going to be double gap. There it is. Because he did not serve correctly, or rather, he did not return the ball, and it landed twice in my gap. I got that point. And the game will keep going like this. I hit the back wall, so he gets the point.
Your serve.
Now, when you're playing the AI bots, there is something a little weird about the scoring. You're going to notice that we've only had 2 rounds, but already I've got 3-1. And that's because the AI bots are played with what we call rally scoring.
Back wall. 3-2.
In rally scoring, the value of the rally increases as the rally keeps going. So it starts at 1 point.
Foul.
But as you just saw, right when he hit it that last time, and you heard a little sound effect, the ball turned red for a second, that increased the score of this rally up to 2. That's why I got 2 points there, and my score is now 5-2. The longer you keep the rally going, the more points the rally is worth, up to a maximum of 5. Just increased. You can see up there on the scoreboard what the current value is. Increased again up to 3. We're going to see if we can get an ultra rally going up to 5. There's 4 points. Like this one, yep, that's 5. Ultra rally. So now it's worth 5 points. That's as much as it's going to be worth. So whoever wins this point will get 5 big points. There we go. He hit it out. I got all 5 points. My score is now 10-2. In every game you play in Racket Club, each set will go to 11 points, but you have to win by 2 points.
Double gap.
Double gap on him. I got 2 points, so I won the first set 12-2. Like I said, each set goes to 11 points, but you have to win by 2. So if you get up to 11, but your opponent has 10, the game keeps going until somebody has 2 points ahead. Each match is best 2 out of 3 sets.
Back wall.
He hit the back wall. I got the point.
0.
So if I win this next set, I will win the match. If he wins it, we play a third set. That was a terrible hit.
1-2. Your serve. Foul. 2-2.
There are 4 difficulty levels. Oh,
Foul.
terrible.
3.
There are 4
Your
difficulty
serve.
levels of the AI bots. I'm playing in the hardest difficulty level, which, to be honest, is not nearly as hard as most of the real-world players you'll play.
Foul.
I should have let that go and hit the back wall. That was stupid. Unfortunately, Boris is winning this set, and I really wanted it to end. Oh my god, really? All right, Boris. There we go. 5-5. I need 6 more points to win.
Your serve. Foul. 7-5.
Let's see if I can get the points up to 4 for the set so I can win in 1 point, or rather 1 rally. It's at 3 right now. I think 1 more to do it. Yep, now it's worth 4. So let's see if we can win this now.
Ultra rally.
Oh, terrible.
Wall.
I gave it to him.
7-10.
All right, he
Your
needs 1 to win the
serve.
set. I need 5.
Foul.
All right, 10-10. So like I said, you have to win by 2. So if either of us wins this one next point before it increases to 2, the game will keep going. All right, it's worth 2 points now anyway, so this one will win the set. There it is. He hit it out. Good for me.
12-10.
So you don't get any awards or anything like that for playing against your AI bot here in the court. Somebody just invited me to the club. I'm going to open up my left menu. And Schmoopy, one of my favorite people to play against, has just invited me. I'm going to have to decline that for now because I'm recording this video. So you don't get any points. You don't get any rewards for playing someone in this training area. This is really just for you to play against the bots for your own benefit, to increase your skills, or just because you want to play a game without talking to other people. And now that we're not in a game, he'll just start hitting it back and forth, but he won't actually serve. So let's start talking about some of the different options that you can play with. This is the standard default court for box tennis. But if you open up your left menu by clicking the 3-line button on your controller, we have a bunch of other options. You can't use this one while you're in the training area, but if you're in the clubs or private match, you can change it from singles game to a doubles game. You can change a sport to any of the 3 sports available. And you can also change it from the default size to the wide size. So right now, let's just change it to the wide size so you can see the difference. And my court is now significantly bigger. Again, make sure you have enough space to go from side to side without running into your boundaries. This is an increased challenge. You're definitely going to be moving a lot more within your space, but the rules of the game are exactly the same. Change that back to standard court. So like I had said, box tennis is the first sport available. It was the only sport that Racket Club had when it was first launched back in December 2023. After a few months, they introduced another sport called Spinminton, which is Racket Club's take on badminton. So let's take a look at that now. So I just changed the sport to Spinminton. It's a very similar looking court, except that obviously the walls are much taller, the net is much taller, and we have badminton rackets instead of the rackets that we had for box tennis. However, I do not have a birdie or a shuttlecock. I still have what looks like a tennis ball. And this still has tennis ball-like physics, including bouncing off the ball, bouncing off the walls, spinning, such like that. But it doesn't actually bounce, or at least not enough to be useful. Because this is a take on badminton, you cannot hit the ball after a bounce. You can only hit it in the air. So when I hit it to Boris, he's going to hit it back to me. We're just going to keep volleying until somebody like me screws up. This is a much more fast-paced game than box tennis. Your reaction time needs to be a lot faster because this ball will come at you a lot harder and a lot faster. One big difference here is that in Spinminton, back wall is not considered a foul, usually. We'll talk about the options later. But if I were to hit it at Boris's back wall and then it fell, I would get the point, not Boris. Whereas in box tennis, if I hit the back wall on the fly, he gets the point. So let's go ahead and play a quick game, or at least one set of Spinminton. I'm going to let that fall. And again, you start the game by giving a thumbs up with your left controller.
Match starts. Your
The
serve.
scoring works exactly the same. Each point will be dependent upon how long the rally has gone because I'm playing the AI bots. So I'm going to serve, again, underhand. And as he returns, there we go.
Foul.
I got 2
2-0.
points already.
Foul. 3.
I have found that the
Your serve.
AIs do not play Spinminton nearly as well as they play box tennis, and it's generally pretty easy to get them. Unless, of course, as I say that, he's returning everything. Oh, perfect.
Foul.
There, let's just edit
3.
that part out. Boris to serve. Yeah,
Four,
smash it
three.
right back at him.
Your serve.
Oh, really? Come on, Boris.
Foul.
Jeez.
4. 5.
Spinminton is also the Racket Club game that I have
Five.
the
Five.
least skill in. So
Your
maybe this isn't
serve.
so much telling what Boris' skill is as it's telling what mine is not.
Out. 6. 5.
Oh, terrible.
Foul. 6. 7. Your serve.
See if we can get. Ugh. There we go. Got him to dig for it, and he hit it out.
8. 7.
I think I'm just going to play the one set, so let's see if we can get up to 3 points so I can end this set. It's at 2 now. Ugh,
Foul.
okay, 10 points.
7.
I just need the 1 point. Let's see if I can do this correctly. There we go.
First set.
First set. I win.
11. 7.
I'm not going to bother playing the rest of this game. Go ahead, Boris. You can hit that.
Foul. 0. 1. Your
This
serve.
is Spinminton. Again, very similar to box tennis, just with a badminton style. The ball doesn't bounce, but it does still spin.
High serve. 0.
That was a high serve because I hit it up in the air. So, because I don't actually want to finish this game,
0.
I'm going to go ahead and do the
Your
opposite and
serve.
give a thumbs down. That will immediately end the game. Again, no points, no penalties for ending a game in your training area. Now, a third game that was added is mini pickleball. And this is extraordinarily similar to real pickleball with a little few modifications. So again, open up my left menu. I'm going to choose a new sport, pickleball, and hit let's go. Now you may notice that there are no walls on the side except for right there at the gap, which in pickleball we call the kitchen. That's the first big difference. Also, no wall behind you. That means that as your opponent's serving, it's very possible it could make a legal bounce and then come out here. Now I'm getting close to my boundary. So because pickleball requires a little bit more space, you have to be able to play not just in your court, but also outside your court as well. Also, unlike box tennis and unlike Spinminton, you must be able to play inside your kitchen as well. It's very possible that a ball could bounce right here, and you have to reach into your gap or to your kitchen in order to hit it. Whereas in box tennis and Spinminton, if you were to step into the gap and hit the ball, that would be an immediate foul. So because pickleball requires a little bit more space, I like to play with one of the options that Racket Club offers called Passthrough. So again, I'm going to open up my left menu. I'm going to click on the settings menu. I'm going to turn on Passthrough mode. Now in Passthrough, you see my actual house with the VR world in front of you. Hello, how are you? You can have this portal be whatever size you want in both the height and the width. So again, I'm going to open my left menu, go to settings, scroll down a little bit, and you can change the portal height. So I can make the portal much taller than it was before. But I don't really like that. I like it to be the same size as my ceiling. Again, you can make it... You can raise it off the floor if you don't want to see the VR environment all the way down. But again, I like it on my floor. And you can also increase the size to make it further and you can see more into the VR world. Alternatively, you can turn the portal off entirely so that the only thing I see of the VR environment is my opponent and the court. Now you see my entire world. You see that my court is not quite lined up with the middle of the room. So I'm going to go ahead and recenter. Again, I'm going to use my left menu to open up the left menu button. I'm going to click on the 3 arrows here, and this will help me to position the court where I want it. As I walk around, the court will be moving along with me, and when I got the court where I want it to be, I'm going to recenter using my Oculus button, just like you would any other VR app. And now that will be the new court. You see the blue area is the court you have. Press A to leave the recentering, and now I have my court where I want it to be. So again, just because the lines are here for this court, it's possible that Boris could hit a ball and I'd have to play it from here. And that's why I like to play pickleball in the VR environment with the pass-through enabled. So to start serving, just like that, just like you would in any other sport, bounce the ball, hit it at him, and he'll start returning it. Let's talk a little bit about the rules of pickleball. I hear the ball bouncing. There it is. The rules of pickleball, somewhat similar to box tennis, but really much more similar to real-life pickleball. You have to hit the ball underhand to serve it. When you serve, you have to clear the entire gap. You cannot land inside his gap at all. Whereas in box tennis, it was okay to land once in that gap as long as it bounced outside the gap on the second bounce. In pickleball, you have to clear the gap entirely. If I were to hit it and it lands just inside his gap, that would have been an invalid serve on my part. Secondly, you have to let the ball bounce once on each side. So when he serves it to me, I have to let it bounce. When I serve to him, he has to let it bounce. And then when the next person returns it, you also have to let it bounce. So when I let it bounce on his side, he hits it back to me, I have to let it bounce, and then we can start hitting it in the air from that point forward. Except, you cannot hit it in the air when you're in the gap. So I can play up here, but if he hits it to me, I have to let it bounce before I hit it. I cannot hit it in the air like that. That would have been a foul because I was inside the kitchen or the gap. Now, those are the those are the rules of real pickleball. Hitting inside the gap, inside the kitchen, is invalid if you're hitting in the air. It's called a volley in the gap. Because this game was built for VR, the developers know that not everyone has enough space to be able to come back here to hit the ball in the air. So you can return the ball on the serve or on the return in the air in this game, as long as you're behind these hash marks, what we call the serve line. As long as you're behind those, you can hit it in the air, and it will not be a foul. All right, let's go ahead and do a quick match, and we will see how this works
Match starts.
as we're playing in pass-through pickleball. Now, in real pickleball, you would have to stand behind here to serve, but you don't have to. As long as you're behind the serve line, you're okay.
Gap serve.
Okay, exactly what I was talking about at the beginning.
1.
I did a gap serve. I hit the ball into his gap, so he got the point. We've each let it hit once on each side, so we can hit in the air now if we want to, but you can let it bounce. If it bounces twice, your opponent gets the point. Now, even though there's not walls on the sides over here anymore, there are still walls next to the gap, and those walls are in play.
Out for rally.
Oh, terrible. I tried to hit against his walls. I missed
serve.
entirely. Those walls are in play, so in the course of play, you can hit that wall, and it will be legal. I keep trying to hit his walls to demonstrate. Let's see if we can do it this time. There we go. That was in play. He hits it. No problem. In this point, we'll keep going until one of us misses or hits it out. People keep trying to invite me to the clubs, and I'm going to ignore them because I'm recording a video.
Out for rally.
Oh, I missed. That was terrible.
First set.
All right, Boris just kicked my butt in that first set,
Your serve.
and that's fine. I don't want to continue this match anyway. So I'm going to thumbs down and stop that match. Now, the pass-through mode only applies while you're actually on the court. If I were to step out of the court right now by using either of these two blue buttons, I will be back in my VR environment. There we go. I'm right back where I started. There's my training court. It looks like box tennis, but if I step back into it, it'll be pickleball again. So that's your singles area for training against the AI bots. The next thing you can do inside this area is I step back into the court. Pass-through mode is still enabled. I have a new opponent because I left the court and came back in. I'm going to change this back to pass-through off, change it back to box tennis. Next thing you can do is instead of playing an AI bot, you can just use the ball machine or the ball cannon. And that'll have this ball cannon start firing balls at you. And you can just start hitting balls to try to train yourself how to get a specific shot. So the ball machine will keep firing these shots at you just so you can keep working whatever shots you want. You keep hitting it back and forth with no real game in play, no opponent to face, just kind of hitting against the ball machine to try to work on your shots. Now you can also change the sport while you're playing the ball machine. So now I'm playing Spinminton with the ball machine. And again, this works for all three sports. Change it to pickleball as well. Now, the other thing you can do while you're in the ball machine is you can actually add your own shot. Once you've added your shot, you can then edit it, and you can decide where you want this ball to go. You can move the ball cannon forward and backward, up and down, with the A's and B button. And you can also change these sliders to affect the range of the ball, the horizontal, how fast the ball is going to go, how much time between the shots, how much spin you want the shot to have, etc., etc. This will allow you to fully customize so that you can work on the shots that you want. All right, let's go ahead and stop the ball machine now. And again, the ball machine works for all three sports. It also works whether you're here in your training area or if you're in the clubs that we'll talk about a little bit later. The last thing that we have inside the home training area are drills. So if I click on drills, it's going to take us to a box tennis doubles court. Okay, go to drills, and you can play any one of these drills. You start the very basic tutorial all the way up to the World Tour training. Drop shot training, I am terrible at. That's why I've never finished it yet. This is in order to spin the ball in a certain direction and still hit a target. I'm terrible at that, so I'm not even going to try. But you can also go do these drills in both singles and doubles. Let's go to singles. All right. Let's see. Let's go to a sidewall return drill. So my goal is to score 14 in 90 seconds. All I have to do is hit the target on the wall and then into the floor target at a minimum speed of 15 meters per second. Thumbs up this drill. And it's going to count down 90 seconds and score 14 by hitting off this target and then into the zone. 1. So this drill will continue until either I run out of time or I correctly get 14 shots. No, terrible. Oh, really? Okay. 4 more to go. One more. There we go. I passed that drill. Now, if that had been my first time, I would have gained some experience points for that, but because I already passed that drill, I didn't get any more points or rewards for it. But again, there's a whole bunch of different training you can take, and this is just to help you increase your own skills, learn different techniques as you're playing the game. All right, let's go ahead and step out of the home area now. And again, the same thing as before. I simply pointed my controller at this door and held down the trigger finger. So that was our home area. You can play against the bots, play against the ball machine, do some drills, whatever you want to do. Over here, we have another mirror to check yourself out. How's your avatar looking? This is our trainer. He gives some encouraging words. It's all randomly computerized feedback. It has nothing to do with how you're actually doing. It's just kind of a little NPC. And you can choose any one of these tournaments to play against. In each one of these tournaments, you're going to play a series of 3 different matches against 3 different AIs. And your goal is to beat all 3 of them. And if you do, you will get some more experience points. Oh, I didn't realize he reacts when I come over to him. That was a little freaky. Maybe he's just reacting in general. Okay. So if, for example, I were to do... Well, apparently I've already started a tournament, so I'm going to have to finish that tournament. It's not going to let me start a new tournament? Okay, maybe it will. Okay. So I'm back in my tournament. I've already beaten the quarterfinal, the semifinal, and now I'm on the final match against Drew. My trainer will give me some encouraging words. I don't bother reading. And then I am in a private match against the AI bot, in this case, Drew. Now this time around, Drew's not going to bother hitting it back to me until we actually start the match. But once I start the match with my thumbs up, Drew will start hitting it to me and we'll play our final match. It's exactly the same rules, same situation as we were in the club area. It's just that this one is a series of 3 matches that your goal is to win all 3 of them. So if I start the match with my thumbs up, it's Drew's serve first. Now, just like the training area, there are 4 levels of difficulty in the
Back
tournament.
wall.
I hit the back wall, so
2-0.
Drew got
Your
2
serve.
points. There are 4 levels of difficulty. I play on the hardest of the difficulty levels. The one big difference between this and the training area is that only box tennis is available. The tournaments have not been updated since the game was released back in December 2023. So it was before all the other sports.
Out.
So if you want to do a
2-4.
tournament against the bots, your only option is box tennis. You cannot play any other sports like pickleball or Spinminton.
Back wall. 2-6. Your serve.
Oh. Didn't like that serve, did you, Drew?
2-7.
Oh, terrible, Drew,
Ball.
terrible.
2-10.
Let's see if I can
Your
quickly
serve.
win the rest of this match and see what experience points I can get from winning this tournament. There we go.
3.
All right, I've won my final match. I got 60 experience points for that. And my trainer's going to come congratulate me. Thank you so much. I won that tournament. And now I can go back to the home area and celebrate my victory. I don't have a tournament going anymore, so that box isn't there. And I could choose to do any one of these boxes or any one of these tournaments for various numbers of points. Now those experience points are going to be used to upgrade your racket. Open up your left menu and click on your racket up here. And you can choose from any one of these rackets. As you keep playing, earning more experience points, that's how you unlock these later rackets. Each racket has their own stats with spin, speed, mass. Spin over works for me. Find out which works for you. It's not the most, it's not the highest level racket, but it's the one that works for me, so I like to keep it. So, let's go on into the shops. Now, as I mentioned toward the start of this video, each of these clothing items will cost virtual currency called coins. When you start the game, if you go ahead and edit your avatar, you can choose from a select number of different outfits available. We have tops, bottoms, and shoes. You can choose whatever you want. Hoodies and t-shirts and polos and whatever else you like. But there's a very few number of these outfits available when you first start the game. And if you ever see somebody wearing a very generic looking blue shirt, let's see if I can find it now. That's how you're going to be able to tell that that person is very new to the game because they have not bought any new clothing yet. I don't see it. Not sure. Anyway, there's a blue outfit that looks very, very generic that you're going to see lots of different avatars wearing. And that's how you can tell that this is a new player. No, it's none of these. It might be that. Oh, I think it's this one. Yeah. Riverbanks. If you see somebody wearing this shirt, chances are they're a very new player. They have not bothered to customize their avatar yet. But I'm going to go back to my purple. And again, you have different options for bottoms, different options for shoes as well. Now, if you want to buy more clothing, all these clothing items are available to you, and these will change throughout the week. And you earn coins to buy these clothes by completing these challenges. Like I said, the challenges will be reset both daily and weekly. I've actually already beat this challenge today because earlier I was playing the ball cannon to show you. So I can go ahead and click this challenge as done. I just earned myself 90 points, or 90 coins rather. Those coins will be displayed up here, and you can use those coins to buy these items in the shop. Those shoes, if I wanted to buy them, would cost 9,000 coins. I don't want to buy those. I am saving up to find those purple shoes whenever they become available. So that's the shop area, just basically so you can customize your avatar. Also, along with customizing your avatar's clothing, you can customize the avatar themselves by changing the body type, skin color, whatever you want to change. Basically just the same as any other avatar customizer in most other apps. Now, I had mentioned that the club area is what I would call the heart and soul of this app. This is where you're going to meet people from around the world and play different games with them. Each club has 4 different courts available, plus the labs that we're going to talk about in just a second. These are the clubs that are available. If I just click on this right now, it'll just take me to the first club available, which has 7 people in it right now. But for right now, I'm going to go into a different club that's empty so I can show you around. So now I'm in this club, and the first thing I'm going to do is actually open up my settings menu, and I'm going to change an audio setting. Now normally you can be either microphone on or microphone muted. If you see this little icon and it's not red, right now it's blue, that means that anyone else in this club can hear me. I'm going to instead turn on push to talk, and that will mute my microphone, and so I'd have to hold down the X button in order to actually be heard. So that way if anyone joins me, they're not going to hear me talking to YouTube until I hold down that X button. So now here is our club. On either side, we have 2 different courts. Each one of these courts can be customized. So right now, this one's set up for doubles box tennis. That one's set up for doubles Spinminton. But you can go into any court you want, and you can change it to the configuration you want. Open up your left menu, and you have all the court options. First thing I'm going to do is change it to singles. Hit let's go. And then I think I will open that back up again, and I will play pickleball, and I want to be on the wide courts. Now I'm on the pickleball wide court. Again, because I like to play pickleball in pass-through, I'm going to turn that back on. There's my wide court in my pass-through environment. I could make that doubles if I wanted to. Doubles in pass-through is a little bit weird because your opponents and your partners are going to likely be in your walls. So a little bit bizarre, but takes some getting used to. So if you don't like that, go ahead and turn pass-through back off. And just be aware of your surroundings. Make sure you have your Guardian turned on. Now these options for the court are controllable by the court captain. So as soon as one person joins an empty court, they become the captain. And if you could see me from somebody else's perspective, you would see a little crown over my head. That crown means that that person is the court captain. They have the ability to change these options. You can also change the positions of the court. So right now, if I want to swap positions with the person who's over there, I would click myself and then them, and that would move me to their position. So that when you all enter the court, if the teams are not configured the way you want them to be, you can switch positions that way. So these options here are available to the court captain. These options, these match preferences, are voted upon. So by default, everything is a practice match, everything is 1 point, the back wall is a foul, and we have what we call free serve. So let me go ahead and change back to box tennis to make those all clear. And also going to change it to singles. So now, when we were playing the bots earlier, we said that we had this rally scoring, ultra rally. So as you kept hitting the ball back and forth in the same rally, the points kept increasing. That was the default scoring in this game when it was first created. Most people didn't like it as much, so now the default is 1 point when you're playing real people as opposed to bots. So with 1 point scoring, no matter how long a rally goes, only 1 point will be awarded. If enough people vote on it, you can change it to ultra rally. Now, that's only going to take effect if in a singles match, both people would agree to it, or in a doubles match, 3 out of the 4 people agree to it. So right now, if I hit ultra rally, but my opponent still had 1 point enabled, because 1 point is the default, it will be a 1 point game. Backwall foul versus backwall okay. Like I said, normally in box tennis, if I were to hit the ball in the air, like that would be a foul. But you can change it so that backwall is okay. But again, both people have to agree to that. If only one person does, backwall foul is the default. And then free serve versus ground serve. Basically what that means is that on a free serve, like the normal default, I can hit the wall before I hit their side of the floor. And actually that's how I like to serve most times anyway. So that's what I do. But some people prefer to play the ground serve, so that if I were to hit the wall before the ground, that would be a foul. And the only legitimate way to serve is to hit the ground first. Again, both people in a singles match or 3 out of the 4 people in a doubles match have to agree to that. So I've got all of my defaults selected. So let's keep walking around the clubs. Again, we have 2 courts over here, customize them. Hello. And on the other side, we have the same thing, 2 different courts. You can configure these however you want. Now up here, in the middle of the club, we have Racket Labs. This is where Resolution Games, the developers of this app, have put their in-development sports, or their in-development options. And right now, the fourth sport in this app is table tennis. If I step into this court, you can see I have a table tennis racket in my hands now. I can grab the ball and start playing table tennis. Like I said, this is the newest sport, so it's still in development. Not all the options are great. Not all the physics are great. It's literally still in development. So the developers are still working on it. But in general, if you don't know the rules of table tennis, it's exactly the same as real-world table tennis. You have to serve behind the table. You have to hit the ball on your side before it lands on your opponent's side. Each person will serve twice in a row, and before it goes to the next person. The game is still to 11 points. You still have to win by 2. If you're playing in a doubles match, which this court over here is set for doubles. If you're playing in doubles, your opponent is here next to you. You kind of have to work around each other so you don't get in each other's way. But when you're playing doubles, you have to alternate with your opponent. So if I hit the ball, our opponents hit it back. My partner has to hit it next. They hit it to our opponents hit it back. I have to hit it next. And we have to keep going back and forth like that. Other than that, very similar to real-world table tennis. Let's see, what else should I show you in here? I suppose while we're in the club area, I can talk about the other multiplayer options. So again, if you open up your left menu, you're going to see your friends list. All these people up here are currently online. These are the people who had invited me earlier. I could invite any one of my friends to a private match right now. So DZ Quest, for example, if I were to invite her, it would give me the option to invite her to this club, just basically saying, hey, DZ, come join me in this club. Or I could invite her to a singles match, I can invite her to a doubles match, or I could invite her to team up with me for a doubles match. If you invite to singles or invite to doubles and they accept, you'll immediately be taken to a private court where you start playing those games. If you invite to team up, what it basically means is that you are saying, I want to team up with you, and then it will match us with 2 other people who are also looking for a doubles match. I'll be honest and say that the player base for this game is still small enough that this almost never works. You really need to find the 4 people you want to play with out here in the clubs before you allow it to actually just try to match you automatically. Also down here, we have Find a Match. Now in this area, if I start searching for singles, it's going to search the game for anyone else looking for a singles match. And while it's searching, I can keep going. I can keep playing in the different club areas in any court. I can go back to my home area. And if it finds a match, it will immediately take me to that private match, and I will play a singles match against some other random person. So you can find a match this way, but most often it's easier to either have a friends list or to go ahead and go into the clubs and find a match. Hello from the future. I just want to take a quick moment to break in here and show you some examples of playing a private match with a friend. A friend of mine and I have a scheduled match every Thursday at noon. He's already online now, so I'm going to go ahead and invite him to a match. If I open up my left menu, I can find my list of friends. MHD side is the friend I play with. It'll show me where he is in the club. He's currently in the career mode, which means he's playing one of those tournaments. But I'm going to interrupt him with an invite to singles. And then while that's waiting, I can go ahead and start playing perhaps just against the bots or really anything else I want to do in the club. And as soon as he accepts that invitation, it'll launch us into a match, just like now. There's my friend MHD side. Hello, how's it going? So right now, the game randomly assigned MHD side to be the captain of the club. MHD, I'm going to ask you to just click on the door real quick and exit, and then come right back in. It'll make me the captain. So now he comes back in. You see he no longer has a crown over his head, so now I'm the captain, which means I'm in charge of all of these options here. So we are in a private court. There's no one around us. It's all just decoration. That's not a real court. But right now I could change the court to Spinminton, or I could make it into the wide court, for example. Also, we could change it to doubles. And you see that we have now a doubles court. And the other thing I could do at this point is I could invite any one of my other friends. If I were to invite him and say invite to court, that would invite that friend to come join us in the same court, and we'd be able to play a match with them. Or even if we were just doing singles, like we're going to be, if I were to invite another friend to come to the court, they would just be out there watching us, and then we could swap in and out if we wanted to do a winner stays on kind of situation. So for now, MHT Sai and I are going to play a few games, and I will record portions of this, and that's going to be it. All right, let's turn back wall back off. I don't know why that's on.
Good job.
All right. I'm ready. How about you?
Match starts.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck.
Good luck.
Back wall.
Beautiful start.
1,
Way to go.
0. Your serve.
Nope.
Out.
Try.
1, 1.
Oh, I made it.
One.
Dang it. Oh, I thought you were going to.
Your serve.
All right, then.
5,
Oh,
2, 2, 10. Your serve.
All right.
Oh,
Second,
no.
no. 5, 11.
So, theoretically, you could have actually done that. You could have hit it because it'll go
I know,
through
I
the
should've
one-way wall.
tried. But there's also a wall somewhere.
Oh,
around
a
there,
physical
so it
wall.
might be
Yeah,
like,
okay.
you know,
No, be careful of that.
Yeah.
Oops.
Out. Your serve. 6, 10.
Didn't hit it. Oh. A
Oh,
little leggy there.
Second.
yeah.
6, 11.
Again, we're going to switch.
Up to you. You're captain. Ha.
That's true. Oh, wait. Back wall.
Match starts. 0, 1.
Yes.
Your serve.
No. Get
Oh,
over.
okay. That was weird.
0, 2.
Made it over.
Oh,
5,
beautiful.
1, 2. Your serve.
This is always our strongest game.
Right? Oh.
Out.
Oh, that was close.
1.
All right. Well, let's try wide and see what happens.
Okay, sounds good.
Sure, my Guardian's still on.
Alright, just a smidgen. Yeah. What's the worst
Match
that could happen?
starts.
You run into a wall and hurt yourself. Like, a lot.
Exactly. Ooh.
Oh, good try.
0, 1. Your serve.
Nice.
0,
you.
2.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going to hit that at all. I saw you going for the backhand. I thought it was going to come over here.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
11.
Good game. You got time for one more? Why don't try box tennis wide, if that's okay?
Sure. Really screw me over. I like this. Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't think we ever played box tennis wide. If we have, I don't
tried
remember.
once early
Nice
on.
start.
Did not
Okay.
go well, as I recall.
Well, you're a lot better now, so let's try it.
That's true.
Back wall. 0,
Okay,
1.
maybe not that much better.
Your serve.
Ooh, nice. Oh, wow, I got that over.
Oh, good job.
Oh, yeah.
Back wall.
Oh.
1, 1. 3, 10. Your
I got that
serve.
one.
One
You're
more.
going that way. Oop, nope.
Second.
Stop setting you up for
3,
that.
Yeah. All right, man. I think I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Go.
Take care. See you next week.
Yeah, right.
Bye-bye.
Right.
So that was playing in a private match with a friend of mine. Like I said, once you've invited someone to a private match, you can change any of those options, play any of the 3 sports. I'm noticing that whatever I did must have just completed a challenge. Spinminton singles win. So I won a match of Spinminton against another player in singles today. Thank you for that, MHG Sai. So I will collect 180 coins. Nice. All right, that's going to do it. Thank you. And now back to the rest of the video. Bye-bye. So let's go ahead and go back into the home area. And now I'm going to go back over to the list of clubs. And this time I'm going to go to a club that has some more people in it. So let's go into Magic Swing Society. I've still got push to talk enabled, so if I start talking to them, I have to remember to hold down the X button. Let's go into Magic Swing Society and see if we can find a match. All right, we've got 4 people playing pickleball over here. We've got AXYZZ playing here. Hello, who just said hello to me? Oh, there's DZ. Hi, DZ.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello, AXYZZ. How are you?
Hi.
Would you like a match? All right.
Practice
Hi.
match
How are you?
starts.
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Rectangle. 0,
Nice.
1. Your serve. Out.
I get the
0,
impression that
2.
AXY is a very new player. So I'm going to try to take a little bit of an easy go on him.
Your serve.
Hey, Itty, when you finish that game, come play with us.
Will do.
Out. 0, 9.
So as you just heard, DZ just invite me to the game when I'm finished with AXY here. And that's really how you find most of the real player matches in this game,
Foul.
is by
0,
finding other people in the
Your
club to play
serve.
with.
But you gotta tell her that it's keeping you fit, so you can keep her healthy,
Nice shot, nice shot.
make walks with her.
Thanks. Same.
Second set. 0.
It's always nice to applaud them afterwards. I'm going to go play with them for a while, okay, man? Thank you for the games. Take care.
I have to wait for the right time.
Hey, guys.
Probably when she's mad at you is not the right time.
It's very true.
Hello, everyone.
No, I spent 22,000 on these trainers, and they look awful with this outfit.
But you look like a giant cucumber.
Practice match
I know.
starts.
I wasted my money. I wish I want a refund. You should be able to try before you
Yeah,
buy.
they should have a 30-day refund, just like in the stores.
22,000 down the bin.
But it looked better on the mannequin than on you?
I don't know what I was thinking. Obviously, I'm never going to make it as a fashion designer.
I like
Oh,
the bright
one.
green
Nice shot, nice shot.
shorts and short sleeve shirts
Your
that they have in
serve.
there.
So I'm playing a doubles match with these 3 other
I don't
real
pay
world people.
attention to the
I'm
guys
not entirely sure where
much
everyone's
because
from.
if I ever get changed if I lose these.
Oh, that was my bad, my bad. Sorry,
I
Vadim.
like it when
Your serve.
Now, one other thing I didn't mention before is that when you're playing doubles, just like I just did now, you have to cross serve. So you have to cross. So I have to serve to DZ. Vadim has to serve to Basilisk. Otherwise, you get a invalid serve
run.
fault. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
2,
Oh.
4.
I
like
just
an
have it
F1
on the
pistol.
Bobo from the
Out.
get-go.
First set. 8, 11.
We won the first
You
set.
could tell somebody's been playing too much VR by how quickly they could change a battery.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can change the battery real fast, but I can't. I can change the battery real fast, but I can't return DZ's easy lobs.
Oh my god.
Foul. 5, 6.
Nice.
That was good.
So yeah, in pickleball, being able to play the kitchen is very important. Oh, 10-7. They need one to win this rally, or win this set, rather.
Foul.
Woo!
10,
Lucky, lucky me.
8. Your serve. Foul. 10.
Nice serve on my
9.
part.
All right.
Need to get better those mid volleys.
Come on,
I was
Basilisk,
playing-
let's do it.
Oh no!
Foul.
Oh,
Second set. 11,
Oh,
9.
that-
nice
good.
rally, nice set.
What?
Earlier today, I played Freddie for an hour at singles, and that was a very humbling experience. It was good fun, though.
Playing Freddy's is
Is he
humble no
Pretty
matter what.
amazing.
Yeah, I think I learnt a lot though. I need to do more singles, but I definitely learnt a lot. Good.
Does he play all the way at the line, kind of defensively, or is he more up in the
Oh no,
front?
it comes to if you're not at the kitchen, then you're behind in the rally as
8,
far as he's concerned.
6.
Yeah,
Your serve.
he'll play right here the entire rally.
Really?
10.
I can
All right,
do
Oh my
eight.
god, we're letting him
Your
catch
serve.
up.
Oh, shit.
Ah.
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
That was an amazing save, Eddie.
Thank you, thank you.
You got it.
Oh!
Eleven.
Good game, good game.
Hey, that was really fun. I gotta go.
All right, all right.
Thank you for the
I'm
game.
going to take off for a little while, too. Thank you, guys.
Filming
Appreciate it.
device. Thank you, guys. It was awesome.
Thank you much. Thank you for
See you
playing.
tonight, maybe.
All right, so that was a fun game that my partner and I just lost. So let's see, what have we not talked about anything in the clubs? No, we got more players playing over here. You can also just go into an empty court. You can start using the ball machine, or you can wait for somebody to come join you. So I think that was actually a really good overview. Let's just go back into the home area, and I'll talk about some of the options real quick. Now, I've not completed any of these challenges yet today, other than the one I already completed, so I don't have anything else to earn. I'm going to return home. All right, so as I talk into the mirror, the options of the game real quick. I'm going to open up my left menu again. Now, the kid I played earlier just sent me a friend request. I'm going to politely decline that. I don't need children on my friends list. Path of Fool invited me, but that was a while ago. I'm going to go ahead and decline that. So again, we have our friends list here. We have the different kind of single player options you can do, either the ball machine, drills, or an AI match. And those all take place in the training area. Again, I can find a match, either singles or doubles. We talked about editing your racket and editing your avatar. Also on the screen, you can see your own stats. These are the number of games of ranked games that you've played. Then let's go into the rankings here. Now, I said earlier while we're on the courts that by default, every game is practice unless both people or 3 out of 4 in doubles make it ranked. If it's ranked, it counts towards this leaderboard. And you will, if you win the game, you'll earn a certain number of points based on how much better you are than your opponent, or vice versa. If you lose the game, you lose a certain number of points. Cody, Ninja, Cold, these are all insanely good players. In Pickleball, Freddie is the guy we were just talking about while we were on the court with DZ. Insanely good players. These are all the top players in the game. Says, let's see, where does it say my rank? My rank is 14. Or does that say it? I'm level 14. Yeah, I'm level 14. I've earned, let's say, league points in box tennis singles earned from playing ranked matches. So I have 379 points. And as you can see, the top players have in the 800s. So I'd have to scroll way the heck down here to find my ranking. I'm ranked 78 in the game. So I am far and away not one of the best players in this game. But I am decent enough that I can beat the newbies all the time and give the regulars, a run for their money at the very least. All right, let's go ahead into the options. We talked about pass-through mode. You can also change the language. This will affect the language of all the labeling throughout the game. Your racket, if you want to play left-handed, let's do that real quick just so I can show you. If I change it to left, get out of there, and then I go into an AI match. Now my paddle will be in my left hand, and I'm going to grab the ball in my right hand using the trigger. I cannot play with my left hand even a little bit, so we're going to immediately change that back. So I'm going to open up my menu, settings, change that back to my left hand. The racket presets, if you have an adapter, you can play so that, let's change to 3 right now, and then edit that. So you can edit your table tennis, the racket speed and the racket spin, and you can also move your hand so that if you have an adapter, let's see, you can set it to be where your adapter actually is, and that way, you can have your controllers actually up here or down here. Yeah. So that where your controller is not necessarily the same place where your racket is. So let's see, how does that actually work? Have the rough setup, use controls. Well, I don't use this much because I don't have an adapter. I'm just using my actual controller. So I'm just going to go ahead and reset that. That's where I want my actual racket to be. So I'm going to hit done on that. But that's how you play with an adapter, so that if your hand is not where your racket is, you use those. You use these presets to choose where you're going to be. On my left, let's go back to that so that I get my racket's in the wrong hand still. Change that to right. There we go. Recalibrate your height. If you notice that your avatar is like either much higher or much lower than it's meant to be, recalibrate there. The game rules. In theory, this would be nice to have, but unfortunately, they only cover box tennis. Much like the single-player tournaments, these rules have not been updated since the game was released, so you only have the box tennis rules here, which are good to look at, and you definitely should look at them, but they're only going to apply to box tennis, not to the other two sports. Left stick locomotion, if I were to go ahead and get out of my training court, I can move smoothly around by using the thumbstick on my left controller, and I can also teleport using a thumbstick on my right controller. It's just that option will disable that left stick locomotion. The natural avatar movements basically just makes it look like as you're walking around the court, everyone else will see a little animation of your legs moving. Call the serve ball. So this one is off by default, and it really should be on by default. If I turn this off, I go back and go into an AI match. Let's go back to box tennis. Let's see. Did I actually turn the call the serve ball off? Okay. So I'm going to start a game.
Match starts. Your serve.
So when it's my serve, it puts the ball right there. Now this can be good for new players because they don't have to pick up the ball and try to bounce and then hit it. They can just hit it out of midair. The problem is, on her serve, she's going to hit to me. And I'm going to show you what the problem is with this setting being off. All right. It's now my serve, and I'm celebrating because I just got the point. And oops, I accidentally hit the ball because I was celebrating and I didn't notice the ball was right there. So for that reason, because people can accidentally hit the ball as they're just walking around and not realizing where they are, I like to turn that setting off. So I don't want the ball to be there like that. I don't want it to appear in midair where I can accidentally hit it just by walking around in my court. So into the settings, call the ball. Now that won't apply to this serve, but it'll apply to the next serve. Really? Come on. Okay, that's fine. Her serve, then we'll see my serve. See how hers appears there in midair where she hits it. That's fine. Now it's going to be my serve. It should appear there in the middle of the court. So I can't accidentally just walk into the ball and hit it and lose myself a point. I don't actually need to finish this match. I'm going to thumbs down that. Back in the settings. Anything I missed? The defaults, obviously. Your audio settings, like I said, I was using push to talk so that anytime I wanted to talk to the people in the court that I was on, I had to hold down the X button on my left controller. You can also just have it so that it's microphone's enabled by default so they can hear everything you're saying, or you can hear it so they hear nothing that you're saying at all. So if I have push to talk off and I'm muted, no matter what, they will not hear me unless they come into this settings menu and re-enable my microphone. You can also change it so that the off-court sounds are higher or lower. So like if you're playing a match in your court, there's other people in other people elsewhere in the club, either just walking around or in another court. If you want to hear them more or less so they don't distract you, adjust that one. Voice chat, obviously so that I can hear the other people in the court a little bit better, both on and off the court. The announcer's voice, the announcer is the guy who keeps saying your serve and foul and all those other words that the game keeps using. Sounds, like those sounds, that turns out up and on. The background music is generally when you're doing drills or when you're talking to your trainer, you have background music on. The social aspect, I've blocked a few players because they're being very obnoxious. We have our About section here. The Discord. Discord is important. This is a link to the official Racket Club Discord. This is where most of us regulars hang out and talk about the game. We schedule matches. We run Discord-only tournaments. It's just a fun place to hang out and talk with other players of the game. So let's see. To cover everything. So anything I didn't talk about? I think that is everything. So I'm going to go back to my home area. There's my trainer. And yeah, this was Racket Club. Again, it's my favorite VR game. I play this game multiple times a week, and I have for about a year and a half now. And I really would appreciate it if you would all come join us. I think this is a great game, both a great sport, a great VR app, a great social experience. I just saw I had a lot of fun talking with the other people on the court earlier today. And it's just a really great app to have. I think it's a low cost. It's maybe like $20 US. Well worth it. There's no DLC. You're not paying any extra. You don't have to pay for new clothes. You don't have to pay for new rackets. You don't pay to play in the clubs. Once you pay that one-time fee, you've got the game, and you can play as often as you want. I can't even guess how many hundreds of hours I've spent in this game for that low price of $20-some-odd. Definitely well worth your time, well worth your investment. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you all. Everyone take care. Bye-bye.